Down goes Frazier!
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy Hot Boxing Minute. Hit that like button before we begin anything. You already know the routine. Anyways, this is Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut boxing. It's a little bit late at night where I'm at, but I had to get this video out about the upcoming fights this weekend. It's a big weekend of fights for hardcore boxing fans. I'm not so sure casual fans might be into it, but I wanted to cover what I feel are the important fights that are going to be spread out on multiple different cards. Mainly what's going on with Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards out there in Phoenix, Arizona. I will be heading out there. I'm leaving tomorrow, so I wanted to get this video done and up on the channel before I left. I have been eagerly awaiting this fight between Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez. This is a huge fight. It is a flyweight unification fight between the WBO, held by Bam Rodriguez, and the WBA, which is currently held by my man, Sonny Edwards, out there from England, from the UK. This is a fun, technical matchup involving two very, very technically proficient boxers. For those of you who don't follow both of these guys' careers, the problem is they're fighting in the flyweight division, which, if I recall correctly, is 112 pounds, or maybe it's 108, either 108 or 112. One of those small weight classes where people don't really pay attention to because it's the size of the weight classes. And me, I'm going to be paying attention to them. So I think I do speak for most boxing purists when I say this fight is huge. This fight is really on the level of a Vasyl Lomachenko versus Devin Haney type of fight, folks. It is that big. It is a boxing purist kind of fantasy fight dream. The flyweight division is one of the most active and popping. The junior flyweight, super flyweight, those guys have been giving us good fights for years. For those of you who don't know, we're the four kings. Originally, you had Chocolatito, you had El Gallo Estrada, Juan Francisco Estrada, Carlos Cuadras, the Rat King, Sarissa Kid, Soron Visai, amongst other fighters, like even, Naoya Inoue. He actually skipped those weight classes, but you had Kazuto Ioka, you had Kosai Tanaka, you had all kinds of, Nonito Donaire was there for a minute, so it's one of those fun action-packed divisions, and this is the flyweight division. And you got two undefeated fighters, two super duper talented fighters. You've got, of course, San Antonio's finest, Mr. 210 Bam Rodriguez, 23 years old, former USA boxing representative, had a great amateur career, multiple national titles. Jesse Bam Rodriguez kind of burst on the scene when he came in as a late replacement for an opponent against flyweight legend Carlos Cuadras, and he ended up winning by clear unanimous decision. Some of you might remember the viral video of him cutting an angle and doing an uppercut with his right uppercut, even though he's a southpaw. Such a fun video clip, and it really was just kind of exemplary of who Bam Rodriguez is. Bam Rodriguez has amazing footwork. He's got amazing pop. He is trained by Robert Garcia, so he comes from good pedigree, and he's a puncher, but he's also much more than that. He's a boxer. He is one of those people that many people have kind of fingered as being a generational talent. Now, he has beaten Sarissa Kid, Soron Visai, the Rat King, and Carlos Cuadras, who are two of the original four kings of the flyweight division, so justifiably so. Now, he did have some problems with Israel Gonzalez. Didn't get him out there as quick as we thought he was going to get him out. And his most recent fight against Christian Hernandez, he won by unanimous decision. If I'm not mistaken, he got his jaw broken in that fight. Still won that fight. But, he's going up against Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards is also a former amateur standout from the School of Hard Knocks. Originally from Croydon, now living out there in Sheffield, England. He himself is undefeated. He is 20-0. His thing is he only has 4 knockouts. Do not let the 4 knockouts of Sonny Edwards lull you into a false sense of security. No, Sonny Edwards is not a knockout artist, and we love knockout artists in boxing. But Sonny Edwards has impeccable defensive skills, impeccable footwork, and he does have enough firepower to at least keep opponents honest. Up until this point in his career, nobody has really walked down Sonny Edwards. And Sonny Edwards is one of those interesting characters that has a personality, a mouthpiece, and is very charismatic. Those kind of fighters, I like to call it the Hector Camacho effect. There is no middle ground with guys like Sonny Edwards. You either love him or you hate him. You're not just going to be indifferent to Sonny Edwards. Bam Rodriguez, I think I can speak for most boxing fans. We love Bam Rodriguez. Bam Rodriguez is just one of those guys that everybody likes. And I don't really know too many people who watch Bam Rodriguez or have seen him fight that will legitimately say that Bam Rodriguez is not one of the most talented fighters in the game. Like, he's one of those guys that everybody watches. Where is my other features on this thing? Hold on. Okay, that's not working. Did I lose my other videos? Sorry, a little technical stuff. Okay. So, Bam Rodriguez is loved. Sonny Edwards, I wouldn't say he's super known to U.S. boxing fans. It's hard enough getting casual boxing fans to watch guys like Bam Rodriguez. Sonny Edwards is definitely known online and amongst boxing media people. Definitely known on boxing Twitter. I think that's his bread and butter, which is really good access to the boxing media. That's why so many boxing media are familiar with Sonny Edwards. He engages every day, nonstop, with boxing media on Twitter. And boxing Twitter is where all the boxing media go to. If you don't already know, most of the writers, most of your favorite boxing content creators and journalists are on boxing Twitter. And that's where Sonny Edwards is real active. That's why a lot of media, including myself, are very familiar with Sonny Edwards. Drink. And I'm excited to be headed out to that card. It's going to be a really, really, really fun fight. I feel like I don't know what the arena is going to look like as far as ticket sales. I'm going to be in the house. I have been looking forward to this fight. It's going to be a phenomenal fight. Bam Rodriguez is, of course, a puncher. He does need, a tiny fraction of a second to sit down on his shots before he lets them go. Sonny Edwards, if he wants to win this fight, is going to have to stay on the balls of his feet and stay moving, which he can do really well. He cuts angles. He can move laterally. At times, he does get overconfident and cocky, and he will stand in the pocket. I think as far as just sheer technical ability fighting inside the phone booth, Sonny Edwards might actually be better than Bam Rodriguez, but Bam Rodriguez is athletic and has extraordinary power, good punching power. So Sonny Edwards, I don't think he's going to want to sit in the pocket. The key for Sonny Edwards to win this fight is to stay moving, to take advantage of that small fraction of a second that Bam Rodriguez needs to set his feet down to launch his athletic punches off. And Sonny Edwards just has to stay moving. Bam Rodriguez, the key to him winning will be his body attack. He will have to invest in the body early to get Sonny Edwards to slow down. I don't foresee Sonny Edwards trying to engage too much with Bam Rodriguez. Engaging with Bam Rodriguez and sitting down in the pocket with Bam Rodriguez would be a big mistake for Sonny Edwards. This is one of those fights where I think it will likely go the full distance. Unless for some reason just Bam Rodriguez clips him, after investing in the body work early, I think it's going to go the full distance. It's going to be an extraordinary chess match. And I might regret this decision. And I'm definitely going on emotion with this one. I really, really think highly of both fighters, and I've followed both closely over the past few years, at least the last 3 or 4 years, because they both kind of rose to prominence, seemingly not overnight, but for the general hardcore boxing fans, they really became more known after they became champions. And I'm going to favor Sonny Edwards by split decision on this one. I think it's going to be a very close fight. And I think Sonny Edwards can weather the storm that is Bam Rodriguez. But it could go either way on this one, folks. And I'm sure my friends who are watching this are going to be like, hell no, you're out of your mind, Jay. There's no way that Sonny Edwards beats Bam Rodriguez. But I'm going with Bam Rodriguez, with Sonny Edwards on this one. Boxing community, how do you think this fight plays out between Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez out there in Glendale, Arizona this weekend? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this up. And I'm sure after the fight, you'll probably feed me the crow if Sonny Edwards ends up losing. Hey, he might end up losing, y'all. I don't know, but I like both fighters, but I'm going to go for the underdog in this one, Sonny Edwards. I think he's going to pull off a miracle and trip everybody out with the performance. We'll see. That undercard, it isn't too intriguing. I don't know who most of these other guys are. I don't know who Peter McGrail is versus Jericho O'Quinn. I don't know who Junaid Boston or Gordy Russ is, because a lot of these are going to be fighters from across the pond. This is a matchroom fight event. I do know Galal Yafai is a flyweight. He is one of the sparring partners of Bam Rodriguez. Uh, he is aggressive, and I think a little overly aggressive given his power, but he is undefeated thus far. He's fighting Rocco Santomaro, and I haven't done any research on Rocco, but you're going to want to watch Galal Yafai. The one I'm also interested in on his fight card is MJ Akhmadaliev against Kevin Gonzalez. It's a super bantamweight fight, a title eliminator. MJ Akhmadaliev is the former unified super bantamweight champion. He recently lost to Marlon Tapales, making Marlon Tapales, out of nowhere, the super bantamweight unified champion. He is going to be fighting Naoya Inoue before the year is over in an undisputed title fight out there in Japan. He's Filipino. Now, MJ Akhmadaliev is an Olympic silver medalist, was dominant in the super bantamweight division for years. He had beat Ronnie Rios and Danny Roman. They were supposed to get a fight between him and cool boy Stephen Fulton that never materialized. That was when Stephen Fulton went out there and fought Naoya Inoue and lost. Now, MJ Akhmadaliev is fighting Kevin Gonzalez, a relatively unknown Mexican. He hasn't fought too many times here in the States. You got to love the whole mystery Mexican phenomenon, folks. You never know what you're going to get with a quote-unquote mystery Mexican. You might get a club fighter. You might get a scrub. You might get a world beater. Plenty of examples of mystery Mexicans that came out of nowhere and shocked everybody. Mauricio Lara, when he beat Josh Warrington. Shoot, Venado Lopez, I think he came out of nowhere and shocked people. Who else came out of nowhere? Emmanuel Navarrete. Nobody really knew him until he beat Isaac Dogbo and became a champion. This guy, Kevin Gonzalez, trains with Coach Panda. Now, he's managed by the same management team as Subriel Matias, and Coach Panda coaches Subriel Matias and William Zepeda, El Camarón. Now, Kevin Gonzalez is part of the same fight team, so he comes from a good pedigree. And we saw this happen just last weekend. We saw a mystery Mexican. We saw my guy, Rafa Espinoza. He ended up beating Robesi Ramirez in a shocker and a possible candidate for Fight of the Year. If you haven't watched that fight, folks, go and watch that fight over again. Rafa Martinez, he was a relatively unknown guy, 6'1" tall featherweight. And I don't know why I forget the guy's name that trains him, but I got drunk with him in a bar in Guadalajara during Canelo versus Ryder Fight Week in Jalisco. And I always forget his name. Oh, for the life of me. The same guy that trained early Andy Ruiz and Mick Conlon and Oscar Valdez. But the mystery Mexican, Kevin Gonzalez, the odds are in favor of MJ Akhmadaliev, and I think that's because the odds makers don't know who Kevin Gonzalez is. If you're a gambling person, it might be worth it to spread a little coin on Kevin Gonzalez. Kevin Gonzalez might end up pulling the upset over MJ Akhmadaliev. MJ Akhmadaliev's last fight was a loss, and that was to a southpaw. Kevin Gonzalez is a southpaw. So it'll be the battle of MJ Akhmadaliev under the guidance of Joel Diaz, those tough Uzbeks, and a relatively unknown Kevin Gonzalez with Coach Panda. You're going to want to pay attention to that fight, folks. You've got the fight, of course, going on, the last fight on the Showtime ever out there in Minneapolis on December 16th, headlined by Dave Morrell versus Sean Agbeko. For some reason or another, Sean Agbeko's fight with Dave Morrell has been postponed several times. They're finally getting around to it. Seems nobody wants to fight David Morrell. David Morrell, the undefeated Cuban who has made Minneapolis, Minnesota his home. And he wants a fight with David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez is currently more focused on that fight with Canelo Alvarez, or at least getting the fight with Canelo Alvarez, although it does seem like he is willing to circle the block after he's done getting that fight with Canelo, which I believe will happen in 2024. And fighting Dave Morrell. Sean Agbeko will be David Morrell's toughest opponent to date. So you might want to watch that fight card. I wish I did more research on Sean Agbeko. I didn't. My coach actually cornered Sean Agbeko for a fight card in Guadalajara a few years back, so they're friends. My gym mate, Jose Cholet, will be opening up that whole fight card as the bottom undercard. He's only in his third professional fight, but hey, he made it to a Showtime fight card, the last fight card in Showtime history. He's fighting a tough dude from Ohio whose name escapes me, but that's my gym mate, Jose Cholet. Keep an eye out for him if you get a chance. Also, oddly enough, Andre Berto and Robert the Ghost Guerrero are going to have a rematch. They're in their 40s. They fought like in 2012. And I remember Keith Thurman and Carlos Quintana were the co-main or the undercards to that fight. This was just before Robert the Ghost Guerrero fought Floyd Money Mayweather. And it's fascinating. I'm invested in it because it'll be interesting to see, two 40-year-old guys go at it that I watched when they were in their prime. It'll be some fun, cheap entertainment value. I would just say soak it up for what it is. You're not watching two elite fighters go at it, but they were formerly elite. And it's Andre Berto and Robert the Ghost Guerrero. It might be worth a watch. That's going on in Minneapolis. And then finally out there in Florida, you got Jake Paul. And I don't even know his opponent's name. Andre August in a cruiserweight fight. Jake Paul is finally fighting a real boxer. Andre August is nothing but a boxer, but he has been relatively inactive and hasn't fought in like 14 months regardless. I think Jake Paul is going to win because Andre August has not been active, and Jake Paul has been consistently fighting over the past few years. The only fight I'm really interested in on that card, that Jake Paul fight card, is Shadasia Green versus Franchon Cruz. They're fighting for a WBC super middleweight title. They're fighting for a vacant strap, one that got vacated by, what is her name? Savannah Marshall, the girl that just got beat by Clarissa Shields. And Savannah Marshall, I guess, due to injury, she was supposed to fight Shadasia Green, but the WBC decided to strip her, so now they got Shadasia Green and Franchon Cruz fighting for that vacant strap. A big opportunity for Shadasia Green. Shadasia Green is the dark horse of the super middleweight division. She played college basketball, D1 basketball, and she is a knockout artist that has been knocking out girls left and right. Of course, Franchon Cruz DeZern, former U.S. Olympian. As an amateur, she was besties with Clarissa Shields. In her professional debut, she had to fight Clarissa Shields. So Franchon Cruz DeZern is a very, very tough fighter. This is going to be the best fight on that card, in my opinion. Both those girls bring it. Franchon Cruz DeZern is very tough. This might be Shadasia Green's time. I'm not sure, but for those of you invested in Shadasia Green versus Franchon Cruz DeZern, who do you think wins? I think I'm going to favor Shadasia Green by decision. I don't know if she'll knock out Franchon Cruz DeZern, but I think it's going to be a fun little slugfest, y'all. Anyways, let me know what you think about that event. Any questions or concerns, hit the comment box. You already know. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm going to end the video there, folks. This is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on YouTube and TikTok. Y'all, until next time, peace.